Why are Richard Mille watches so expensive? Richard Mille has only been in the high-end luxury watch business for a few decades, but in that time they have conquered the industry with their inventiveness, workmanship, and general eccentricity. Richard Mille has become the industry's most exclusive brand rather fast. Although they are revered by all, it is uncommon to see one in the wild. Except for individuals who have extremely wealthy acquaintances, the majority of people will only come across a Richard Mille watch while they are online. Even while the watches are stunning to look at, the most surprising thing about them is frequently their price. The high price of Richard Mille watches begs the question, why? From non-fans of the brand. This brings us to our topic for discussion today. Why do Richard Mille watches cost so much? Here are 5 very convincing explanations for Richard Mille's outrageous charges. Finally, we'll share our thoughts on whether or not the prices are reasonable. But be aware that we may be biased because, like most watch enthusiasts, we adore Richard Mille. However, when we talk about the whys, we shall solely address the facts. We were able to categorize the rationale for the pricing while considering the Richard Mille brand into 5 groups. Number 1. Design and watchmaking. A Richard Mille watch's distinctive design makes it easy to identify. It resembles a hybrid of a future watch and a Formula One race vehicle, which is the brand's primary source of inspiration. The aesthetics are bold and distinctive without apology. Additionally, they are all designed to be maximally comfortable due to their extremely lightweight and ergonomic designs. Many people are unaware of how challenging it is to design Richard Mille's recognizable tonneau-shaped case, which has become one of the brand's most recognizable characteristics. The sandwich-style watch casing is incredibly expensive and difficult to make. Each of its 3 decks, the central area, the front and back bezels, and the rear bezel is curved. Because there are no flat surfaces, milling is quite challenging. Furthermore, the curved surfaces exclude the entry of moisture or dust since they fit together to within 1/100th of a millimeter. This should impress you if you know anything about machining. Every detail of the design has been considered to maximize both comfort and attractiveness. It's all quite technical and hand-finished. The dial on its own, or in the absence of one, is incredibly intricate. Richard Mille is especially well known for his skeletonized dials, which include a complex arrangement of sapphire crystals and other components for maximum readability and viewability into their intricate movements. The highest degree of technical skill and intensive effort is required to create watches of this caliber by hand, which contributes to the exorbitant cost of Richard Mille's timepieces. Number 2. Current materials. The high-tech, cutting-edge materials used in Richard Mille's timepieces are equally as groundbreaking and futuristic as their design. They're using materials that have never been used in the watch business before. These are state-of-the-art materials often seen solely in racing yachts, aerospace industries, and Formula One automobiles. They are highly innovative in even the most high-tech businesses, not simply in the watchmaking industry. Finding ways to employ these materials for his timepieces took Mille years of research and development and millions of Swiss francs. The watchmaking industry is unaware of the novel compositions of these metals and materials. Even while it seems cool to say, these watches have special materials, the reason it's done this way is because it serves a purpose. It will be evident as soon as you try on a Richard Mille. Even with their massive size, Richard Mille's timepieces are incredibly light. They only weigh about 40 grams on average. It resembles a credit card worn on the wrist. His ingredients also add a great deal of durability and resistance to the mixture. All in all, the structure is quite sturdy, the feel is featherweight, and the patina is stunning. It is mind-blowing, and this is made even more so when you take into account the architecture of the case, which we already covered in detail. The list of materials is endless and includes carbon nanotubes hardened with ceramic, gold fused with quartz and carbon, silicon nitride, perfluoroelastomer, and many more compounds alchemists can only dream of. It should be noted that the methods used to create these materials result in arbitrary patterns in the carbon layers. It follows that no 2 examples are alike in appearance. Even though they are extremely rare, each Richard Mille watch is a unique individual rather than a replica. Worth it to buy a Richard Mille. Number 3. Complicated transactions. Not only does Richard Mille employ cutting-edge materials in the case's construction, but the movement does too. The Richard Mille team approached horology in a different way than what is customary in Geneve's classical realm. Typically, a unique alloy consisting of roughly 90% grade 5 titanium, 6% aluminum, and 4% vanadium is used to make the movement parts. Again, these are materials that are only found in extremely high-tech industries. Watchmaking is not one of them. The base plates and coatings are typically coated with tillite, an incredibly robust and long-lasting material, or PVD. To achieve this level of innovation, several years are needed. Richard Mille's micro-engineers are very exceptional. In addition to the materials itself, the finishing methods are superb. This covers burnished pivots, wheels, angular and hand polishing, as well as satin finishes on bridges. The finest level of workmanship results in a sporty, technical movement that is incredibly enjoyable to watch. When it came to realizing that contemporary watchmakers desired to see a watch's movement, Richard Mille was a true innovator. After all, a mechanical watch's movement is undoubtedly its most fascinating component. Furthermore, tourbillons, a revolving prison that demands an extremely high degree of creative refinement to escape, are the focus of Richard Mille's work. They create flawless tourbillons using cutting-edge materials and a thorough redesign. Their commitment to elevating hot horology is evident in their tourbillons. The Richard Mille watch mechanism is characterized by its high-impact resilience and intuitive design. Richard Mille offers beauty and sophistication in addition to unfailing accuracy, precision, and dependability. Richard Mille is the man to trust if you need a mechanical watch for the end of the world. Do Richard Mille's timepieces make a wise investment? Number 4. Character. It should be clear to you by now that creating a Richard Mille watch is an intricate and time-consuming process. Most tasks are completed by hand. However, there are other reasons why Richard Mille's timepieces are hard to find. It boils down to exclusivity as well. A portion of the watch's allure is lost if an enormous quantity is produced each year. As a result, Richard Mille produces fewer than 5,000 timepieces annually. That does keep things pretty exclusive, even though it's not exactly a small number, especially for a brand this new. Every year, the demand significantly outpaces the supply, leaving consumers hankering for more. Additionally, a lot of models are made in limited editions, which intensifies this impression. Strong secondary market and auction prices demonstrate the strength of this brand's worth. Finally, the reason why Richard Mille watches cost so much is because scarcity is a clever marketing ploy. Most costly watch company. Number 5. Status symbol and marketing. Only the wealthiest individuals in society wear Richard Mille timepieces on their wrists. In the watch industry, it has evolved into the pinnacle of wealth expression. For this reason, the phrase billionaire's handshake was created to describe people who wear Richard Mille's. Richard Mille's marketing has been nothing short of brilliant, even though the watch's design, engineering, creativity, and other qualities are all quite excellent. It's possibly the primary factor in their ability to fetch such high prices. They've done an amazing job of establishing a strong feeling of exclusivity. If you own a Richard Mille, you are aware that only those with comparable incomes can purchase one. You are indicating that you spent a lot of money on it by wearing a Richard Mille. Alongside Patek Philippe, it has grown to be the most prestigious status symbol in the watch business. Even more so simply because everyone knows you paid a ton of money for a Richard Mille and that only the wealthiest of the famous and wealthy wear them. Furthermore, compared to some of Patek's more expensive and esoteric models, Richard Mille's are far more identifiable. To put it plainly, the Richard Mille brand and reputation alone are worth a huge premium. Regardless of your opinion of the timepieces, it's impressive that someone can afford to spend that much money on a watch. It's undeniably a challenging business concept, but Richard Mille did an amazing job executing it. Additionally, if you question them about why it costs so much, they can quote the Richard Mille tagline, which reads, "A racing machine on the wrist." Did you like it? Tell us what you think of the video in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more interesting videos.